Yerp. It did not, but it gave us a nice 1 minute change and a break, and it's giving us another break right now with the 1 minute. So we'll probably be expecting like a little sweep of the highs on the lower time frame. We'll get the entry. Mm, get out of me head, sir. What's going on, team? I bet I turned the stream on. Give me 1 second. Let me tweet it out real quick. It keeps it simple. It gives you a little bit more confidence that you know what you're looking at too. I'm upset about that gold trade, man. I'm not gonna lie. I would have passed the account with that one trade. But it's all good. It happens. Why'd I open up iTunes for? Alright, what's going on, team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session. Just gonna give everybody another 5 minutes to join. We'll give everybody till 7:15. Hope everyone has had a great day today. Hope everyone had a great trading day. Personally, for me, I didn't take no trades. Missed the trade on gold because I woke up this morning so tired. Let me tell you guys. I woke up, my eyes were red, and I was like, I am not getting out of bed. Then I woke up, checked the chart again one more time, and I saw that we missed the entry on gold, and I am upset about it. I'm not gonna lie. I was really upset this morning. Let me tell you guys. I was so pissed. That one trade, that would have been it. Alright, would have had that 100K, but it's all good. We still got another trading day to go off on, and we did have somebody in the chat, right, Mr. Rambash. He did come in literally just a few minutes ago, and he wanted me to break the trade down. Right, he asked a question about the chart. He didn't even know that it was a pair that I was looking at. He doesn't know that it was an entry that I was looking at. He marked up the chart. He has his own breakdown for it, so that's beautiful, right? That's exactly what we want to see, right? That's the goal. So have all of you guys be able to trade exactly what we see. Right? Will there be times that you guys see something that I don't see? Absolutely. Will there be times that I see something that you guys don't see? Absolutely. The whole point is to make sure everybody's on the same page so we could all be successful at this together. Because again, as I've said every stream this week, this trading shit that everybody says is mad difficult, it's really not. Again, it gets easier and easier and easier as time goes by. The more time you put into the charts, the easier it gets. Right? So again, I wasn't upset because I missed the trade. I missed it. I was upset, truthfully, because I should have been on the charts. Doesn't matter how I felt. It doesn't matter that I'm tired. It doesn't matter that I didn't want to wake up. No, I had to wake up. I'm more upset at myself for not waking up and being present on the chart. That's what I'm really upset about. Right? And I'm not upset that I missed the trade. Again, why? Because we will have these opportunities. We will see more opportunities on the chart. So a missed trade, it is what it is. You brush it off, go onto the chart the next day, and you look for the same thing. If there's a setup, you take it. If there's no setup, you walk away, you come back the next day. Right? So, again, I'm not upset that I missed the trade. I'm upset that I didn't wake up. Right? But I can't give myself a hard time because, again, I show up every single day. I do this every single day. I needed a little rest. So, I will give myself some slack, but it took me a little while. This morning I was really upset. I'm like, yo, I can't believe I did that. But it's okay. Alright, so just give me a few minutes here. I'm gonna post the link on Twitter. And I'm gonna post the link on the Discord. Discord's already posted. So let me just go ahead and post this on Twitter, and then we'll get started. Just give me till 7:15. We'll give everybody enough time to join. Go here, go to announcements, copy and paste this link, paste it here, another night, another chat. Then I go here, isolation session, market breakdown, post the link. Then I go to the Vice Twitter, go here. Go back to the Discord, copy link, and then I go here, paste it. Nice. Perfect. All right, so we'll start off with gold for today, since again we had that question in the Discord. And it wasn't really a question. It was more of, right, last night you mentioned the exhaustion candles on gold. I saw the setup in the morning, but I did not take it because of a counter trend. It's a counter trend trading. I only observed price come back to the engulfing and went straight down. Right, kindly respond in stream. Thanks. Right, so yes. Right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful chart that you marked up. Right, you had a better engulfing candle than I did. Right, but let's talk about the engulfing candle that you saw. Right, so maybe on your chart you had a small wick on it. Right, I don't know if we're on the same server. Let me take a look. You're on a Wanda, I'm on a Wanda. Perfect. So we will have the same breakdown. So specifically this is for Mr. Randbash who asked the question, but this is for everybody here. Right, so the number one thing we saw in gold yesterday, right, is the exhaustion candle. And we talked about this during the isolation session. 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, we know the market's either going to move sideways or it's going to go down. Right? Keep that in mind. On top of the fact that we had a previous 3-day push to the top side, when the market opened, few minutes later, what happened? Price gave us the exhaustion candle. Now, on Mr. Randbash's chart, he had marked this as an engulfing candle. And again, this is not a valid engulfing candle. The reason that is because this red candle here did not give you a bottom wick. There is no bottom wick on a candle. If there's no wicks on the 3 candles that make up the engulfing candle, so if the green candle doesn't have a top or bottom wick, if the second green candle doesn't have a top or bottom wick, and if the red candle doesn't have a top or a bottom wick, it is not a valid engulfing candle. Here, what's good, Mohammed? Good evening, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Right? Regardless of the fact, if you would have taken the trade, it would have went straight into profit. Right? Straight into profit, would have never been in drawdown. It came back and retested the area again, then went straight into profit. Now, I wasn't looking at this area again because price did not give us this valid engulfing candle here. However, price gave us the exhaustion candle, once again, which is the one that we saw in the 30-minute time frame. And during the end of London session going into the NYC session, price gave us another inducement of the high. Once price gave us this inducement of the high, this is where we start looking for our entries. Mind you, I typed that message that I wasn't looking at anything at what time, like 6:30. Again, I went right back to bed. I was so tired. And again, I'm not upset that I missed the trade. I'm upset that I just didn't wake up. I'm upset that I let myself go back to sleep, and I shouldn't have done that, right? But it's okay. Again, it's really never a missed opportunity on the charts, right? You will always find opportunities on the charts to trade. So I took it with a grain of salt, and it is what it is. I'll just have to come back tonight, do the session, right? Mark up my charts, and get ready for tomorrow, right? Get ready for tomorrow, get ready for Friday. And it is what it is. Now, the valid entry that we did get was good, Mr. Bashir. The valid entry that we did get was during the NY session right before 9 a.m. Again, the reason this engulfing candle is not valid, I'll say it one more time, is because that red candle did not have a bottom wick. So the correct entry to have taken on this trade was on the 5-minute time frame, this engulfing candle that printed after price gave us another inducement of the high, which was this one here, again on the 30-minute, right? It was another inducement of these highs, and then price started printing down. So on the 5-minute time frame, how this setup would have looked like: short position, entry on the engulfing, stop loss at 25 pips, straight to take profit. STP at 285 pips for the day, which would have been 133 pips on the TP, 25 pips stop loss, a 1 to 5, very simple. I missed it too, 850 engulfing. Yep, exactly. Right? So it's all good. It's all good. The 100K still there. Pissed that I didn't take it on the 100K. It's all good. Right? We're getting there. Again, I hope he's watching this, and I'm pretty sure he will watch this. So Ivan, again, bro, I salute you. Thank you for pressing me about purchasing a 100K account, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have purchased it. So shout out to Mr. Ivan. So yeah, I hope that explanation made sense. So let's start from the top, right? I'll start off the session with gold since we're already here, right? So to go into another step as to, I understand that we always talk about not trading counter trend, right? Whenever I'm trading very big pairs, right? Pairs that have a lot of volume, like gold, Bitcoin, oil, US 30, sometimes GJ, sometimes, not all the time. Mainly just the indexes, the commodities, crypto. I do trade both ways, but I only trade both ways if we're in a zone of consolidation. And we see that, right? We'll go back and we'll explain that on the 30-minute. Well, let's first do the breakdown so you guys can see everything from one step to the next. My chart just froze. Sorry, give me a second. I'm doing too much. Come on, chart, load up. Wow, the charts are having issues. It's not loading at all. Let me see if I could restart this real quick. I just did too much on my screen there. Just trading view just blew up. Right? So once again, what do I mean about trading both ways in a zone of consolidation, right? On the daily time frame, we already know that gold is in the highest highs of the highs. We're at the highest point in the market. At the highest point, what is price doing? It's just moving sideways. Rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, going back to the middle, going back to the top side. Right? When we go down into the 4-hour time frame, we can see that a little bit more clear, right? Rejection of the high, rejection of the low, rejection of the high, rejection of the low, rejection of the high, went back to the middle, right, to go back to the highs. Once price reached these highs, what did price do? Right, let's go ahead and delete some of these drawings here. I was doing a few one-on-one sessions today too, so I have a few things drawn out on a lot of my charts. Right, once we reached these highs, what did price do? It gave us exhaustion candles and price started trending down. Perfect. So again, if I'm in a zone of consolidation, I am looking to trade both ways because we already know where price is going. Right? If price rejects the highs, we're gonna go short, and if price rejects the lows, we know we're gonna go high. So a zone of consolidation is always going to be the easiest thing to trade when you're looking at a pair. With that being said, when we go down to a lower time frame, right, and this goes into the trade that we took a week ago now, right? Why did I take this trade going short? Again, this trade that I took on the 14th of July is the exact same trade that was given today. The exact same trade. The reason I took this trade going counter trend is, again, 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, we know the market's going to move sideways or go down. We were at the top of the zone of consolidation. Price rejected the highs, gave us an exhaustion candle, gave us a 5-minute engulfing candle, which led us to have a 19 pip stop loss with a 218 pip take profit, a 1 to 11. Perfect. Right, we take the trade from the top, go right back down to the bottom. I'm not a swing trader. I'm not holding this for days, and no, I'm only capturing STP. I don't care about anything else on the chart. STP is what I want, and I'm not greedy. You think I'm gonna cry about, oh, I just missed out on another 5,000 pips? No, I just caught a 1 to 11. You see everybody else online crying for a 1 to 1, a 1 to 2. We don't need to do that. We have our area set. We know where price is going to go on a day-to-day basis. STP is hit, get out of the trade. That's it. Capture what you know is going to happen 100% of the time, every single time you step into the charts. Right? So this exact same entry that we took here is the exact same entry that was given today. After 3 days of rise, at the top of the zone of consolidation, we already know 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. Perfect. We were at the top of the zone of consolidation. Price gave us a rejection of the top of the zone of consolidation. It gave us the exhaustion candle at the top of the zone of consolidation. We started downtrending. It gave us another rejection right before the NYC open. And then it gave us that 5-minute engulfing, gave us the entry straight to profit. Let me know if that made sense, Mr. Bashir, and everybody else in here. Is not only for him, but let me know if that made sense. So again, since your chart was on the 5-minute, I'll explain it one more time, just in case. This engulfing candle up here is not a valid engulfing candle. Every candle that makes up the engulfing candle, the 3 candles that make up the engulfing candle, each of them need to have a top and a bottom wick. If the green candle doesn't have a top or a bottom wick, it's invalid. If the bearish engulfing candle, the red candle, if it doesn't have a top or a bottom wick, it's invalid. Right? So the real entry that you should have taken, the one that should have been marked up, was this engulfing candle over here that was at 8:50 in the morning, right before the NYC open. Let me know if that made sense. And then we'll go on to the next pairs. We know we have a day of drop. Perfect. Right? Now, what else could we be looking for? Looking at structure. If price decides to break these lows, we know we're going to go a little bit lower. If price does exactly what's going on right now, where we rejected the lows, right? We had an inducement of the lows, and we start making higher highs and higher lows, we know we're going to go right back to the top side. So we just have to wait it out just a few hours to see what price wants to do. Let price develop. Let the market makers develop what price wants to do. Again, if you're at a bus stop, are you chasing the bus? Or are you waiting for the bus to get to you to then get on the bus? If you got to the bus stop late, are you going to be chasing the bus down the street? Or are you going to sit down and wait for the next bus to come? Right? You're going to wait because you're not running faster than a bus that's moving 35 miles an hour. You're not going to catch up to it. You're slow, I promise. I know that. Unless you're a cheetah. then maybe you'll catch up. But I'm not a cheater. I don't know, man. Maybe somebody is, but I'm not. Right? Same philosophy, same thing that comes into trading. If price already left you, that's it. Let it go. Don't try to chase the trade. Don't try to get in and recover what you could have made. No. Get out of the chart, come back again the next day, and look for the opportunity to get in again. Yeah, I got you. Okay, perfect. So again, beautiful chart though. You have a beautiful, beautiful chart. The way you marked it up is exactly how it needs to be marked up on everybody's chart. That was a beautiful breakdown that you had on your chart. Beautiful markup that you had. So hats off to you. Right, so let's get started with AU. Again, guys, for everybody new watching us, we're going to be going over the pairs that you see that have a red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD-USD, finishing off with US oil. We will be going in order from the top to the bottom, but if you guys have any questions about any other pair, whether or not they're on our list, just let me know and we'll do that for you guys. We'll do those at the end of the session. I got it. Thanks. No problem, Mr. Bashir. Again, any questions before we get started? I'll give you guys one more minute. I'll give you till 31 with 30 seconds on the trading view chart. So at 7:31 with 30 seconds, we'll get started with the session. Again, use this time wisely. Any questions, let me know. If you guys have any questions throughout the entire stream, just let me know. We'll stop, we'll answer the questions, we'll do what we gotta do. $25 seconds. Nothing for now? Okay, perfect. No problem, my brother. Anything at all from anybody else? Let me know. 15 seconds. Maybe during the stream? Alright, perfect. No problem. Whenever you have a question, just let me know. You have a question on GU? Alright, we'll answer that question once we get to GU. I got you. If it's a question about a pair that we have on our list, we'll go over it. We'll go over it once we get to that pair. I'll wait for you to get to it. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Alright, so let's get started. So AU, again, nothing has changed from AU from what we've been seeing this entire week. Right, we're still in level 3 on a downtrend. Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, and we're just expecting price to give us a set lower high before we could start looking for shorts. And again, our 2 points of interest that I'm looking for price to give us a set lower high to then continue that downtrend push. The first point of interest is going to be once price reaches the 800 EMA. And again, the reason why. We're waiting for price to reach the 800 EMA because the 800 EMA tends to act as a support zone. Price always tends to respect the 800 EMA. If price gives us a valid break above the 800, then we know it's just going to continue the trend. And what's the trend? If we zoom in on the daily time frame, what is price doing? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and today's push gave us another higher high back to the top side. Oh, I thought I had another. Right? Gave us another higher high over here. So perfect. Price is doing exactly what it needs to do. But again, on smaller pairs, I'm really not looking to take trades going both ways. It's a lot easier, especially just think about it. Again, you have 55 pips to play with. E used to have a calculation, and I should call him now. But I'm not going to waste our time because I know it's late for a lot of people. E used to have a calculation, I just don't remember what it was, and I cannot find my trading journal that I had when he was doing the sessions. There's 3 journals, and I have 4 in total. I don't know where that 4th journal is. Yeah, I just opened up my drawer, bro. I'm like, yo, it has to be in here, but nah, I really don't know where it's at. we used to have a calculation where we could anticipate how much a pullback is going to be, right? But let's just think about it. On a pair like AU that's moving 55 pips on a day-to-day basis, a pullback is only going to be anywhere between 10 to 20 pips. And then the rest 30, 40 pips that is left for the day is going to happen with the move of the day. With that being said, that's the reason I don't trade counter trend when I'm looking at smaller pairs. Now, a pair like GJ that moves 160, 180, 200 pips, we could do that, right? Because we know a pullback is going to be anywhere between 50 to 60 pips. And I'm cool with catching 50 to 60 pips. That's perfect. That's an amazing number to catch. 50 to 60 pips on just a standard $1 lot, that's $500, $600. That's perfect, right? But if I'm catching a pullback on AUD/USD just on a standard $1 lot, 10 pips, 19 pips, 20 pips, only $100, $200, that's still a lot of money. But once you grow your account to a certain size, you don't even want to risk that. You don't want to catch a one-to-one. I'm not trying to catch $200. Like, no, like, I'm already used to seeing big numbers, right? 500, 1,000, 4,000, right? So with that being said, that's the reason why I don't trade going counter trends on smaller pairs. The risk isn't worth it, right? For 10 pips, it's just not worth it. So with that being said, on the 4-hour time frame, what are we doing? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and price is giving us another higher high over here. Right, we still don't have a set high just yet, so we're just gonna keep this updated just like this. We'll update this tomorrow's Thursday, so we'll update it tomorrow Thursday, and we'll go on from there. So nothing on the 4-hour. Again, nothing has changed. We're still on an uptrend on AU. Price gave us a lower low change of character, and then price came back up and gave us a higher high change of character back to the top side. This is gonna keep this on the 4-hour and the daily. Get this out of the 1-minute time frame. There you go. Right, and we had 3 days of rise. Today being the 4th day push, it gave us a 4th day push. Now, the next question a lot of people have. Oh, but you said after 3 days of rise or after 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go down. So why did the market go up today? Perfect. We have an answer for that. We have gaps in the market. We had the 1st day of rise. On the 2nd day of rise, at the market open, Friday going into the new week on Monday, price opened with a gap. What do gaps do on the chart? Gaps reset the trend. So technically speaking, this is 1 day of rise, this is 2 days of rise, and today is a 3rd day push to the top side. Again, because the gap resets the trend, right? So we know that now we have a change of character to the top side over here. Gave us the change. So now we know that we're trading between this 30-minute low and whatever 30-minute high that's set up here. Again, at this moment, we still don't have a set high, so I'm not going to mark this up just yet. And again, I'm not interested in trading AUD/USD right now, so we're just going to go straight to the next pair. AUD/CAD on the daily time frame. We are in A1. A1 is the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We know we're looking for price to give us that second push to the bottom. Zooming into it, we know that we're still at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. And if we go down to a lower time frame, once again, what is price doing? Just moving sideways. This entire area here is price moving sideways. Rejection of the lows, rejection of the highs, rejection of the lows, rejection of the highs, price going back to the middle of the zone of consolidation. That was a horrible line. I'm sorry. That was still not a good line. But you guys get it. Right? So right now, what am I waiting for? Gotta wait for price to turn around. Once we start seeing lower lows and lower highs, we'll start taking these trades. Right? We know that AUD/CAD, in order for me to look for a trade, especially when we're in a zone of consolidation, I needed to see the change of character, I needed to see a pullback, and I needed to see the break of structure. Without the valid break of structure, we still know that price could continue to push to the top side. The trend shifts or the trend changes once you get the break of structure after the change of character. So the fact that we only have a change of character is the reason why I wasn't looking for any entries here. And it's very simple. It's very easy to get trapped into these trades. Why? If you're trading breakouts and you don't understand market structure, how many people do you think saw this break, saw this retest, got into the trade thinking that price was going to go lower, and then got hit out? How many people do you think got stuck in that trade? And this is why understanding market structure and being able to see it and understand it is very important. Again, we're repeating the same thing we said yesterday and the same thing that we said on Monday. Market structure is key. Everything else you guys are learning, right? If you're learning ICT, right, fair value gaps, order blocks, smart money concepts, smart Roger concepts, turtle soup, it doesn't matter what, that's not market structure. Those are entry confirmations. You cannot learn entry confirmations first before market structure. Because again, the chart is always going to print double bottoms. The chart is always going to print double tops. The chart is always going to print order blocks and fair value gaps and engulfing candles. Which ones are high probability and which ones are low probability? You get what I'm saying? And you will not be able to answer that question if you do not understand market structure. Market structure is the universal language for the charts. It's the language of the chart. If you do not understand market structure, could you still trade and be profitable? Of course. And that all boils down to risk management. You could have a 30%, 40%, 50%, 60% win rate. But you need to have really good risk management. So again, we already know AUD CAD still pushing up to the top side, didn't give us a valid break. I'm not looking to take trades on AUD CAD. Going on to the next one. And again, guys, the same thing that we talked about yesterday is the same thing that we're going to talk about today, is the same thing we're going to say tomorrow. Nothing changes. When I look at my charts, it's going to be the same thing every single day. When I'm looking for my entries, I need to make sure that my entries are the same every single time I enter a trade. It has to follow the rules. It has to make sense. It has to abide by market structure. If market structure isn't present, I'm not taking the trade. Because at that point, you'd just be gambling. You're taking a 50% chance trade. And again, I'm not here to gamble. I'm not here going to the Hard Rock Casino and gambling my money. I'm trading. There's a system to it. You have to follow the system. Euro AUD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend, right? We had the double bottom at the peak low. We had push 1, first zone of consolidation, push 2, second zone of consolidation, and push number 3. Once again, we know that we're expecting price to reach our previous peak high territory, which is again just this purple box. Price doesn't have to reach all the way to the top of the wick, right? Because at these highs, it's just a crazy imbalance candle or a crazy wick to the top side. So I'm looking for the body of the candle and the wick. Once price reaches these highs, I'm out of the trades. If I'm in any trades, I'm no longer going to be looking for entries until price gives us a break to then continue, or until we start seeing that price is going to turn around to go from an overall uptrend back down to the downtrend the same way that we did here. From an overall downtrend, push 1, first zone of consolidation, push 2, second zone of consolidation, push number 3. What were we looking for before? What were we looking for before we look at for an entry? Is for price to turn around. Gave us a double bottom, gave us the break, the first zone of consolidation, perfect. We already know we're in the first, we've already flipped and we're starting that uptrend push. Sorry, I'm getting a little tongue twisters here. What's going on today? Right, so EA, zooming it in, going into the 4-hour time frame. What do we know about EA? We're stuck in a 4-hour zone of consolidation. So this is good. Why is it good? Well, if price decides to reject these lows again, we know we're going to go right back to the top side. If price decides to break these lows, then again, it's all good. We're trading at a higher high. We'll be expecting price to give us a little bit of a steeper pullback, to give us a higher low, to then continue that push to the top side. So again, right now is just about being patient on the chart, wait for the entry confirmations to develop on the chart, and then take the entry. So as of right now, gonna keep an eye on EA for sure. Going to keep a very close eye on EA. If price could give us those rejections of the lows and then start turning around, we'll start looking for those trades. For EURUSD, daily time frame, this is a pair that already reached previous peak highs, so I'm just going to update the chart. Not looking to trade EURUSD unless we have a continuation trade. Again, a continuation trade is 2 days of rise going into a third day. So until I don't get that, I'm not trading EURUSD. So this one I'm just going to keep it updated and we'll go on from there. We're still trading 30-minute highs. Again, everything is color coordinated. 30-minute highs are red. 30-minute highs and lows are red. 4-hour highs and lows are blue. Daily time frame is gray. Right? And on top of everything else, even though we're in an overall uptrend on EURUSD, what is price still doing when it comes to market structure? Lower low, lower high, lower low. So 30-minute is still downtrending. So we want to be very careful taking trades on EURUSD. Very, very careful. EURUSD daily time frame once again, going from the top to the bottom. Overall uptrend, level 1, first zone of consolidation, which is V1. We had the break of the zone of consolidation, higher high, higher low. Right, gave us the break, gave us a retest, gave us a continuation back to the higher high. And where's price right now? At the higher highs. Now, again, this is the same thing that we were saying yesterday with EU. Could we be looking at 4-hour structure instead of daily structure? Absolutely. Why? Because price, again, higher high, higher low. Higher high gave us a little pullback to the 200 EMA, which is exactly the EMA that we want to see when we're in level 2. We want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. To then continue the push to the top side. Now, the situation with EU is, again, when we go to the 30-minute and we start looking at how price is reacting, right, and where price is reaching, we're about to reach the daily highs and the 4-hour highs. So again, am I going to be looking for a buy position at the top of the zone, or am I looking to take buy positions at the bottom? Right at the pullback. I'm looking to take entries at the bottom. Now, when will you start looking for entries at the top of the zone? Is when price gives you the confirmation, which again, the confirmation is if price gives you the break, we get the retest at the top of the zone and then continue. So for EU right now, I'm sitting out of it because again, price could definitely do something like this. Right? Give us an inducement of the high, rejections of the highs, and then start going down. So once price reaches these highs, I'm going to take a step back once again. We'll see how price wants to react to the daily highs and the 4-hour highs. If price breaks, then perfect. We'll get ready to start trading EU. If price doesn't break the highs, then we already know we're going to be looking for pullbacks back down to the bottom. Right, and we're trading higher high, higher low, gave us a nice little break, but again, not going to be taking a trade on EU just yet. Just going to take a step back from this. And we're trading between this 30-minute low, and again, these 30-minute highs are still not set just yet, so we're just going to keep this like this. We'll update this tomorrow. Take a sip of water real quick. Give me 1 second. For GA, this is also a pair that already reached the previous peak high territory. So GA is not one that I'm going to be trading. I'm just going to update it. And again, regardless of everything else, we have 3 months that price has been moving sideways. We're stuck in a zone of consolidation. Right? So this one is going to be a little simple. If price decides to reject the lows of the zone of consolidation, then we know that's when we can start looking to take trades back to the top side. Right? And right now in the 30-minute time frame, again, what did we want to see after price went to the low We want to see the change of character, higher high, higher low, and then we wanted to see a break of structure. Price still hasn't given us the break, still hasn't broken the lows either, so we still got to be patient. As soon as price gives us a change of character followed by a break of structure, or I'm sorry, a break of structure followed by, no, exactly how I said it. Once we get the change and then we get the break of structure, that's when I'll start looking to take trades. And again, the reason why, once again, if you're trading looking at internal structure, how many traders do you think got stuck in these trades? Let's say they didn't cash out. Right? Let's say that they got greedy and they were like, oh, this is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We're going to go back into the higher high. Right? And we see this time and time again. If you're a greedy trader, and let's say you took a trade somewhere in this area, let's say you got in as soon as price retested those internal higher lows, right? If you got greedy and didn't cash out at 100 pips, and you let price go right back down to stop loss, you got hit out, right? So this is the reason why we wait for the break. Once you get the break, you know that the trend has shifted 100%. Every single time. It's not just once, it's not just twice. And we show this every single day, day in and day out on the chart. You need to wait for the break of structure to happen. We have 2 days of drop. Perfect. Could price go lower? Absolutely. Right now, everything is downtrending. Right? We had the lows here, had a little lower high where price rejected the highs again, respected the 800 EMA, and we started trending back down to the bottom. So for GA, we just got to be patient. Once GA shows me that it wants to continue to push to the top side, then I'll take it. But right now, price is just consolidating. It's just moving sideways. For GCAD, who was it that was trying to trade GCAD and kept asking questions about GCAD? Was it Albert? Or was it you, Muhammad? I don't remember. I think it was Albert, if I remember correctly. So GCAD, where are we? Right, GCAD. Yeah, it wasn't you? Yeah, I think it was Albert, if I'm not mistaken. For GCAD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. We had push number 1, first zone of consolidation. Push number 2, zoom in here so you guys can see it. Push number 2, second zone of consolidation. And now we're in push number 3. And we know that we're expecting price to reach the previous trend's peak high, which are all the way up here. Right? The previous trend, downtrend, push 1, first zone of consolidation. Push 2, huge zone, second zone of consolidation. Push number 3, right? Trend flips, push 1, push 2, and now we're looking for push number 3 to continue these uptrend pushes. When we're looking at market structure, and I'll ask this question openly and to everybody in the chat, if anybody wants to answer the question, you can. You had price give you higher high, higher low. Would you guys consider this? And I don't know why this is so high up. Let me put this here. Do you consider this a higher high or a break of structure? Type 1 of yes, type 2 of no. Do you consider this higher high, higher low, higher high? Again, type 1 of yes, 2 of no. We'll give you guys 20 seconds to answer the question in the chat. If nobody answers in 20 seconds, I'll give you guys the answer. It's no problem. Mr. Bashir says, number 2 for the no. You asked it yesterday. I know, man, but you know, it's... You never know, man. Motherfuckers be forgetting, man. I don't know. So again, Muhammad, this is the reason why for me sometimes like doing these isolation sessions is so boring. Because again, there's nothing new. There's really nothing new. But again, this is for everybody, right? For us who are here every single day, it gets a little repetitive. It gets repetitive for me, but remember, these streams are public. So maybe somebody else is in who hasn't been here all week. A new student comes in. You never know who's watching. So I have to ask these questions. I have to. Right? Muhammad said no. Bashir's laughing. I'm telling you, man, like it is the exact same thing every single day. But again, I ask these questions because once again, The one-on-one session I had today with two people, they never watched the sessions before. It was their first time looking at the chart. And when I asked them the question, it wasn't on this chart. It was another chart that I asked them the question, but it was very similar. And they were like, yeah, this is a break of structure. And I'm like, why? Oh, because price went above. A lot of people don't understand. Not that they don't understand. When you go online and you look up what a break of structure is, people will tell you, oh, it's a break of structure line. When the green candle closes above, that's a break of structure. Or, oh, if price goes above it and it's a wick, it's a break of structure. But that's not true. Mr. Shakai, welcome to the stream, my brother. Appreciate you being in here. These aren't break of structures. These are testing candles, right? So this is the reason why we cannot say that this is higher high, higher low to continue. This is the reason why we continue to see price trending down. Price never gave us a valid break of the high. I update everything before the session, just here for the fun and also can't sleep. No, 100%. Trust me, that's exactly what I used to do when E used to do these sessions. I update my charts before he did the session. I'll watch the session. If there's something I did wrong, I'll update it. But that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Right? For the people who are with us every single day, the ideal thing to do is to update your charts before the session. So then that way when you watch the live session, if you did something incorrectly, you ask the question, hey, I did this incorrectly. Why do you have it differently than me? And then you update your chart once you ask the question and understand why it is that you did wrong. Exactly what Mr. Bashir did. Right? He posted his chart on the Discord and he said, hey, this engulfing candle, whatever on gold, can you go over it? Absolutely we can. Right? So now he understands, okay, this 5-minute engulfing was invalid, but the 5-minute engulfing that we took the entry on at 850, that was the valid entry. And now you understand why it was an incorrect engulfing candle that you had marked, and now you understand what to look for the next time you look for an engulfing candle. Right? So that's exactly how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to update your charts first and then watch the session and then update it after that. It's not boring, bro. It feels like a backtesting to me. You know, practice makes perfect, they said. Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. So let's delete some of these drawings here. You have a lot drawn here. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's for the new people. I have these drawings out because I do one-on-one sessions. We do these sessions every single day, and I just like to keep it on the chart for reference, right? It makes it a lot easier for everybody who's watching. So GCAD, we know we're in level 3. We're sitting at the higher high, pretty much in a little zone of consolidation where price is rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, just moving sideways here. On the 4-hour time frame, we can see it just a little bit better. We can see how price is just moving sideways. Right? On the 30-minute time frame, we had a day of drop yesterday. Once again, this is a pair that the 30-minute zones are very large. Right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price went all the way up, gave us a change of character, and just trended to the top side. Never gave us a pullback. It just continued. So we're still trading between this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows. And this is still what I'm looking for. I'll start looking for entries if price taps into the 30-minute low, gives us a rejection, to then continue, and this is where I'll start looking to take trades. Or if price gives us a continuation. Again, 2 days of rise, we'll take the 3rd day push, no problem. Right, so GCAD, there's really nothing to really look at here. We'll come back to this. We'll look at it tomorrow morning if anything changes, but for now, nothing on the chart. GJ, we're still in an overall uptrend, pretty much still at the highest point on the chart. Peak high territory. We're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. When price pushed up to make that new high, it decided to just consolidate. And where are we? We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. At the top of the zone of consolidation, price gave us exhaustion candles. Once we go down to the lower time frames, right, on the 4-hour, we also know that we're stuck in a little zone of consolidation, which is good. Why is this good? Price gave us a 30-minute gap at the beginning of the week. And we know that price will have to cover the gap. It has to fill the gap. Right? So right now for today, we got a day of rise. Right? We had a little change of character sweep of the lows, and then price started trending. Now, when will be the right time to take these trades? That's the tough part. Why? Because again, we're at the top of the zone We're at the top of the zone of consolidation on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we're at the top of the 4-hour highs, and on the 30-minute, we're also stuck in a zone of consolidation. Again, price is just trapping traders. If you go on Instagram, again, I'm not gonna name drop on the stream, but it's there publicly. If you know, you know. Some of you guys will know who it is. Fat loss yesterday. Very fat loss yesterday. Thinking that price was gonna go up here because he saw a double bottom and we're gonna go up to fill the gap. Straight to stop loss. Straight, but very straight. I mean, this wasn't even it tapped me out and went no, it went straight to stop loss. So again, when price is reacting to these areas, the way that price is moving, just super choppy, crazy candles, right? These crazy wicks, exhaustion candles everywhere on the chart. If you're trading Asia session, you have exhaustion candles. If you're trading London session, you have exhaustion candles. If you're trading NYC session, you have exhaustion candles. Just crazy movement, crazy volume. It doesn't even make sense. So for me personally, how I attack the chart, if it doesn't look clean, I'm not going to take it. It doesn't matter what confirmations I see. It doesn't matter. If the chart does not get cleaned up the way that it was here when we took these trades, where price started slowing down and looking a lot better than what it did the day before, right? It went from looking crazy to, okay, we're looking good, to, okay, cool. We'll start taking these trades and we'll go back down to the bottom. From the top to the bottom is the same thing. We're trying to take the trade from the bottom back to the top side to fill these gaps at the top of the market. But we have to wait for those entry confirmations. If we don't get the entry confirmations, then there's no trades. We still just have to be patient. Right, so for right now, GJ, hands off of GJ. For me personally, I'm not going to be trading GJ just yet, but we will keep an eye on it going into tomorrow's live trading session. Mr. Gooley, what's good, my brother? Welcome. I was just talking about you. I don't know if you were here for that. All right, Mohammed, what was the question you had for GU? Now that we're here, let me know. Could delete this. This was a few weeks ago already. Got Wingstop and went to the gym. Man, I miss eating Wingstop. I'm not gonna lie. Getting the lemon pepper wings with a side of ranch and some fries. Oh man. Some lemon pepper wings would go crazy right now. Mr. Muhammad, while you type your question, I'll go ahead and start with the breakdown, and then once you type up the question, we'll go over it. Hot honey and lemon pepper? I never tried their hot honey. I never had the chance. But that does sound fire. Damn, bro. I need water, bro. I don't know why. I feel like I'm choking on some shit. Pause. Alright, so for GU, very similar to EU, right? We're in an overall uptrend, right? Previous trend, we had peak high, double top, right? We had push 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, the second zone of consolidation, push number 3 into peak low territory. Then price shifted, right? It turned around. We had push number 1, first zone of consolidation. It gave us the break of the zone of consolidation up here, gave us a higher high, higher low. Push number 2, right? So we are in level 2 on an uptrend. We know that we're trading at a higher high. Going into the 4-hour time frame, what could we see? Still uptrending, which is good. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us a sweep of the lows, gave us the inducements of the lows, and then we started uptrending. And again, very similar. We had 3 weeks of drop. Last week, the previous week, the first week. So this week, we already knew the price is either going to move sideways or it was going to push up to the top side. When you go down to the 30-minute time frame now, at the lows, right, lower low, lower high, lower low, price went up, gave us a little change of character to the top side, higher low. It gave us the break of structure, it gave us the retest to then continue. Gave us 2 days of rise, and as soon as the market opened, it already gave us that push. So we were already hands off from this chart. But we know that we are now trading higher high, higher low, all the way to the top side over here, higher high. Now again, for those who are new here, why am I not marking this as higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high? All of this is part of the same trend. There was never a pullback, a significant pullback on the chart. This is all part of the same trend, right? So we know that we're trading between this higher low and this higher high at the top side. 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, we already know the market's either going to move sideways or it's going to move down. So right now for GU, I already know that for tomorrow's trading session, no longer looking to take buys on GU. Not yet. Above everything else, once again, where are we? At a higher high. I'm not going to be taking any buy positions at a higher high. I'm going to wait for a pullback. Once we get the pullback, I'll start looking to take the trades. Muhammad said, yeah, was waiting on an entry on it, but there was no confirmation. No engulfing is no good structure on 5 or the 1 minute. Did I miss something? Damn, now I see it. Oh, no, I was just since you said you had a question on GU, I was just asking, or I was just telling you to put the answer, or damn, I was telling you to put the question in the chat, so then that way we could go over it. But yeah, you're not wrong, right? At the end of the day already, when we're looking for the 372, right? Structure looked perfect on GU, right? The structure looked perfect. But when it comes into the entry confirmations that we wanted to take, that we wanted to see, we just never got it, right? If price would have given us the second day push and the market would have just given us a simple pullback, then we know we could have taken this trade back to the top side. But again, just the fact that price opened up, right? The new session opened up, and as soon as the session opened up, it went up and already gave us that third push to the top side. It gave us that new high with that red wick. It was already hands off. I'm not looking at anything else because again, always remember it. When you're looking for a continuation trade, whether it's 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months, the market makers only have to make a new high. As soon as the market makers make a new high, and we see that from time to time again, and that's why we have that 4th day variation, right? If the market makers wanted to give us a rise drop, where price gives us on the 3rd day a push to the top side, but then goes down and finishes the day on a drop, we know that we could look for that 4th day continuation, right? If that would have happened today, then we know that tomorrow we could look for that 4th day push back to the top side, right? If the market makers wanted to just give a new high and then consolidate the entire day and finish on a no net, then we know that for tomorrow's session, we could look for a 4th day continuation back to the top side, right? So as soon as the market opened and already gave us this 3rd push, that's it. It's hands off for me. I'm no longer looking for an entry because again, the market makers only have to make a new high, whether it's with a wick, whether it's with a body of a candle, a break of a candle, it just has to make a new high. As soon as they make that new high on the 3rd day, on the 3rd week, or on the 3rd month, they could push the market right back down, or they could just start consolidating and just trap traders. In this case, the market makers decided, you know what, let's continue this trend to the top side. And that's okay. That happens too. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? That just gives us the opportunity to be like, hey, you know what? Let's give this chart just a little bit more time to develop before we take a trade. Especially GU and EU, which are pairs that are trading at a higher high. We still don't really have a significant pullback on GU. So again, for right now, I'm a little hands off on GU and EU. However, we will continue to keep an eye on it, and we'll continue to see if there's anything that changes going into tomorrow's session, and then we'll go back into it. Yeah, that's it. I didn't clock it at the morning. Yep. So that was pretty much it. Good shit, thanks. No problem, Mr. Muhammad. Yeah, man, I feel like I have like a peanut stuck in my throat, but I don't got nothing. Pause once again. Made some tacos here at the house. Little rice, beans, lettuce, tomatoes. Oh my god. A little bit of sour cream. A little bit of sauteed mushrooms with soy sauce. Oh man. I killed that shit. I'm not gonna lie. That was real good. And I only made 2. I should have made like 7 of them. NZD USD. I love how this chart looks. You see how simple my charts could look, man? But NZD, I haven't done any one-on-one sessions with NZD USD. That's why it still looks clean. So NZD USD, where are we? Once again, from the top to the bottom, we were at peak high territory, gave us the first push, first zone of consolidation, A1. We had level 2, second zone of consolidation, and now we're looking for that third and final push back down to the bottom to the previous peak low. And we're still good, right? We know that NZD USD did not give us a valid break of the bottom of the zone of consolidation, gave us a sweep of the lows, an inducement of the low, and then we started trending back to the top side, right? We go down to a lower time frame, go down to the 4-hour. Where are we? We could still see price giving us higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, but we know that we're kind of just still stuck in the zone of consolidation, where price has been rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, but it's still respecting the structure. It's still giving higher highs and higher lows. And again, that's not what we want to see, because we want to see price go back down. But already understanding market structure, already seeing that price is still giving us higher low, higher low, higher low, allowed us to see the fact that yes, even though we had 2 weeks of drop, we already know that this third week low for price to go lower this week was not going to be high probability. And again, the reason for that is because price continued to make higher low, and higher low. So if you're trading this on the 30-minute time frame, once again, the question stands as always. How many traders do you think were trapped in these trades thinking that price was going to make lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high to continue to go lower, right? This was last week. We were expecting price to give us a third week low, right? How many traders do you think were trapped into these trades thinking that price was going to go lower for the opening week, which was again Friday into Monday, thinking that price was going to continue to go lower, but then got hit out, rejected lows once again to continue the push to the top side? So once again, market structure is key. It will tell you exactly what price wants to do. Outside of everything else, we had a change of character to the top side, higher high, higher low. Then price gave us the break of structure last night, going into today's trading session. And once again, all of this is part of the same structure, right? So we're still, I'm not going to set a new high just yet. We still haven't really made a set high. We have 2 days of rise. The market open gave us a third push already, so perfect. When will I start taking trades on NZD USD? As soon as price gives us a change of character and a break of structure back to the bottom side, that's when I'll start looking to take the trade, right? And yo, Ghoulie, my bad, bro. What's your real name? Fucking Ivan kept saying it, and it's Austin, right? Like, that shit just keeps slipping out of my mind. Let me know if you're still in here, because this is a good example of what we were talking about earlier today. Austin, yeah, okay, cool. So same thing here, right? Exactly what we were talking about for NQ, right? We have shoulder, head, shoulder, right? Remember what I was looking for this week. So the week started here. This is Monday, right? Now mark it here. This is Monday. The confirmation that I was looking for outside of the higher time frame analysis, on the 30-minute time frame, what did we get? We had a little shoulder, the head, right? And then price just consolidated here for a little bit. We could say that this is like a little baby shoulder, head, shoulder. Another confirmation for me as to why we already just knew that price wasn't going to go lower is because of that, right? What we talked about this morning or earlier today. Price never gave us a valid break of these lows. And this is a great chart, because I just remembered this was a question that you had, or I think it was Ivan. What if the candle closes below the line, but it doesn't close below that first testing candle's wick, right? And if you notice it, this red candle here, yes, even though it wasn't touching that break of structure line, it's still considered a testing candle because it never broke below this candle's wick. If this candle would have closed below the wick and it would have given us a valid break of structure, we would have seen something completely different. We would have seen that continuation back down to the bottom. Right, so this is a perfect example Another example of what we were talking about earlier today. We could delete this already. We'll keep this like this. Again, I'll update this tomorrow morning during the trading session if need be. Dirty 30. Let's see if we can get mixy with US 30, man. I'm excited. So, US 30, very similar to all the other indexes, whatever you trade, US 30, S&P, NAS 100, NQ, right? German 30, whatever it is that you trade. They're all pretty much traded the same way. They're all doing the same thing. Only difference, market structure is going to look a little different on all of the pairs because again, US 30, the top 30 US companies, NAS 100, the top 100, S&P 500, the top 500. So even though the movements are a little similar, market structure is going to look different as well. But we know that for US 30, we're already at previous peak high territories. We're at previous highs. We're sitting at previous highs that price has rejected. Same thing that we talked about yesterday. We've already rejected these highs once, twice, 3 different times, and that's exactly what we're sitting at right now. So for me to feel comfortable taking positions to continue the push to the top side, I need to see a valid break. I need to delete some of these drawings because this is getting out of hand. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. There's just way too much on my screen right now. Right? In order for us to say that price is going to continue the push to the top side, I need to see a valid break of the daily highs, which is over here. I also need to see a valid break of the 4-hour high, right, which is also up here. Again, everything is color coordinated. The blue is 4-hour, the gray is the daily, red is the 30-minute. Right? On the 4-hour, we want to see a valid break. And on the 4-hour, what do we see? Testing candle, number 1. The second candle, exhaustion candle. So we still don't have a valid break. Price is inducing the highs, and it gave us an exhaustion candle. We go down to the lower time frame. On the 30-minute, what do we have? We have 1 day of rise, which was on Monday. Tuesday gave us a second push to the top side. And then today gave us a 3rd day push. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. On the 1-hour time frame, we also have the engulfing candle, right? Green, green, red. All of them have top and bottom wicks. Perfect. Now, am I going to be looking for a trade here at this moment? If price comes into this engulfing candle, is a little bit too early for me. Why? Price could definitely continue the push to the top side. I want to start seeing the change of character and the break of structure to the bottom side. And right now, what do we have? When we're looking at 30-minute structure, we have lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a change of character, higher high to the top side, higher low. And then price today gave us that valid break of structure back to the top side. So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute low and this 30-minute high. Now, what do we know? Again, at a higher high, we could definitely be looking for price to at least give us a higher low, right? To then continue back up to the higher high. So right now, these entries look good. The entries make sense. We're trading at a higher high. Just to list down all the confirmations that we have. We're sitting at a daily high. We're sitting at a 4-hour high. On the 4-hour time frame, we have a testing candle and an exhaustion candle. On the 1-hour time frame, we have an engulfing candle going short. On the 30-minute time frame, we have a previous 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, we already know the market's either going to move sideways or it's going to go down. So those are 5 different confirmations that we already have based on where we're at on the chart. However, we go down to the lower time frame. What do I want to see on the lower time frame? Right? Since US 30 is a big pair, we could get away with trading the 1-minute time frame. We had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price went down, gave us a change of character, lower low, lower high. It gave us the valid lower low break of structure, right? So we know that we were trading at one point already from these lows and these highs, and we could see that price continued the trend back down to the bottom. It gave us another lower low. So we know that we're trading now between these highs over here. And again, the reason I'm choosing these highs is because the highest point between this point over here and the break, the highest point is over here. And we're trading between this lower low over here. Now, on the 1 minute time frame, could we be looking for price to push up, sweep these highs to make people believe that price is going to continue to push to the top side, give us the retest of the engulfing, and then continue back down to the bottom? Absolutely. 100% that could happen. So I'm going to keep a very, very, very close eye on US 30. The only thing I don't like about this is that, again, indexes have been pushing. We have a lot of news. Again, yesterday it came out that Trump made a deal with China, Japan. I don't remember who it was. One of them two. Don't get me in trouble, please. I just don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was Japan or China, but the tariffs and all that stuff, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff that came out yesterday. There's a whole bunch of stuff that came out today, and a lot of bad press as well, right? I don't know if you guys are aware, but literally like an hour or two ago, they just released media that Trump's name was on the Jeffrey Epstein styles. Now, what could that do to the market? I don't know, but it's not good news. So just be aware of that. With that being said, we'll go on to the next one. We'll keep an eye on US 30. We'll definitely keep an eye on it, and we'll continue to trade this going into tomorrow's trading session. And we're almost done here, guys. These last couple pairs, there's really nothing to talk about. USD CAD, I'm not really trading, just based off the fact that right now, looking at the overall trend, the overall structure, right, we had push number 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, push number 3, and it reached the previous peak high already. So could we sit here and say that price has turned around and this is peak high territory, this is level 1, and now we're going to get the first zone of consolidation right on the 800 EMA? That could happen. But again, market structure is still on an uptrend. Higher high, higher low, price consolidated between those highs and those lows, gave us the break, higher high. So we're trading between this high and this low on the daily time frame. Could this just be a higher low to continue higher? Absolutely. So we want to be very careful with USD CAD right now. Very careful. Like, this is a pair that right now I'm hands off until we start making higher highs and higher lows. We have on the 4 hour, what is price doing? Right? The daily is uptrending. Oh, wrong. Sorry, give me 1 second. Right? The daily we're uptrending, but the 4 hour is still downtrend. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Price gave us a lower high, failed to give us a new low. Price came back to these highs. Inducement of the high went right back down to the bottom. Right? Again, we also had 2 weeks of rise, but we already knew that this third week push to the top side, very low probability. Why? Because we're still making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Would you do M and Q NQ one more time? Trying to ingrain it in my head. I got you. I got you. I'll do it right after I finish these. We'll do that at the end of the session. I'm almost done. This shouldn't take us more than 5 minutes. Right? So we already knew these third pushes to the top side incorrect. Right? Super low probability because we're still on a downtrend. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us 3 days of drop. Boom, gave us a change of character. Once again, after 3 days of drop, the market is either going to move sideways or is going to move up. And what did price do today? It moved sideways. Sideways movement. That's it. No net. There's nothing here for us right now. Am I going to say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high? No. All of this is part of the same trend. So we know that we're trading now between this 30-minute low down here. Right, this is a very small zone, so I'm not going to use just that body. I'm going to use the body of this red candle here and this wick. That'll give us a little bit more breathing room for price to do whatever it needs to do at these lows. Once we start seeing higher highs and higher lows, we'll start trading USD CAD. So for right now, nothing to trade. USDs are very similar to USD CAD. The correlation between them, they move very similar. USDZAR, we're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third and final push to the top side. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, which is perfect. That's exactly where we want to be at when we want to start looking for buys. However, what are we looking for? Same thing that we were just talking about on USD CAD. I need to start seeing uptrends. I need to start seeing uptrends. Right now, we're still seeing lower low, lower high, lower low. Price came up, gave us a lower high. Let's delete these drawings here because I'll explain that again. Right? Has price given us another low? No. We're tapped into the 4-hour lows, but we still haven't swept the lows. We still haven't given exhaustion candles at the lows. It's still just sitting there. And when we go down into the 30-minute time frame, what do we see? Right? Lower low, lower high. Again, all of this is part of the same structure, lower low. Now, could we say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low? Here on the 30-minute time frame, we can. And the reason I'm saying that is because at this point, what did price do at these lows? It gave us a sweep of the 30-minute lows. Not only that, once again, we had 3 days of drop. Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. After 3 days of drop, we already know the market's either going to move sideways or it's going to move up. And what did price do today? Just move sideways. Once we start seeing higher highs and higher lows, I'll start taking these trades again. Very similar to USD CAD. Going on to the next one. Gold. My baby. Oh, we did gold already. We did it at the beginning of the session. Bitcoin. Still just in a zone of consolidation. Right? We could even see that on the 30-minute time frame. Gold is another situation where at one point, if we just delete everything that happened from here to what's happening now, what did we have? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Did price give us a valid break of the shoulder? No. Buddy, come on. Thank you. We never got a valid break. Right? All of these candles here. We'll delete these drawings so you guys can see a little bit better. Right? All of these candles here. This green candle is a testing candle. This red and green candle is a testing candle. This red candle is testing. This green candle is testing. This green wick is testing. This red candle is testing. Right? You have a green, green, green testing. Right? Price came back down, gave us another red candle, testing, 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 testing. Never gave us a valid break. And what did price decide to do after it gave us just a sweep of the lows, didn't really give us a break? Just decided to consolidate. Just moving sideways. So right now for Bitcoin, we have a day of drop. Now, let's go to the 4-hour real quick. On the 4-hour, we had a 4th week variation to the top side. But once again, why did we already know that this was low probability? For 2 reasons. Reason number 1, where are we on an overall trend? We are in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. Not only are we at the highest point in the market, but when we're looking at structure, what do we see? Price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Higher low. Where are we right now? At a higher high. We're sitting at a higher high and price is just moving sideways at the higher high. So right now I am hands off on Bitcoin. Not really looking to take any trades. Is there any engulfing candles here? I would love to take a trade on Bitcoin, man. Been a little bit. How long has it been that I haven't taken a Bitcoin trade? I think like beginning of the year. I want to go back and actually look at that real quick. Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. February, January. Have I taken a trade on Bitcoin? Yeah, I did. It was a small little trade on Bitcoin, which was the beginning of the year, the last day of January. Right, 3 days of rise. Right, we have 2 days of rise. On the 3rd day, gave us a pullback, gave us the entry. Exactly what I was talking about in the beginning of the session. I'm so glad I was able to see this. Muhammad and everybody else watching, but it was a conversation with Muhammad on what, GU? Again, price gave us 2 days of rise. I'm looking for that 3rd day push. I'm not looking at ADR. I'm not looking at STP. All I'm looking to catch is for price to give us a new high. As soon as price gave us this new high, what did price do? it went right back down to the bottom. So again, this is the reason why as soon as I saw that the market open and GU gave us that third push high, that third high already, I'm off the chart. Because the only thing the market makers need to do on a third day continuation is make a new high. As soon as they make that new high, they could fucking drop the market or they could just consolidate for the entire time. So this is I'm so glad I got to this. This is a picture perfect reason, a picture perfect example as to why you should always take profit when you're looking at a 372. You should always take profit at the highs. That's it. No more. That's it. You're not looking for nothing else. As soon as that third day push is made, get out of the trade. If you wake up and the pair already gave you a third day high before you could look for an entry, your day is already done. Don't even try to get into another trade. What a coincidence, man. But again, it just goes to show you, you trade the same thing every single day. You have to follow your rules every single day. And again, price is just consolidating here, so I'm not looking at anything. And then the last pair for the night, and then we'll go over MNQ and NQ. US oil, overall daily time frame. We are in level 2 on a downtrend, right? We had peak high territory, level 1 on a downtrend, first zone of consolidation, right? We had the break of the zone of consolidation down here at the lower low. Price came up, gave us a lower high, which the lower high was confirmed on the 4-hour time frame. Once we made that lower high, price consolidated for a little bit, right? Gave us rejections of the highs. Once we gave rejections of the highs, go down into the 30-minute time. No, I got hiccups, man. What the hell? Go down into the 30-minute time frame. Let me delete some of these drawings. I was going over this with them as well on this pair. And then this one, we'll take this out since that wasn't a trade that I took. And this is the trade that we missed for that 372. Right? We had 1 day of drop, 2 days of drop was the entry that we took. We had a change of character. We had the break of structure, lower low, lower high, lower low. On the second day, push down to the bottom, gave us a pullback, gave us that 15-minute engulfing to go right back down to the bottom. And again, when I'm looking to take the third day push, all I'm looking for is for price to give me a new low. Everything else that the price gives you after that is just extra pieces of the pie. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm done eating, I don't lick my plate. That's the same analogy I could give when we're looking at the chart. Right? I'm eating what's on my plate. What's on my plate, in this case, since it was a 372, is just to catch that third day low. Everything else that's given after the fact, again, the same example that I gave on gold as to why you would take profit where I took profit at, is because I'm not going to be licking my screen trying to catch another 500 pips after price already gave us the move for the day. Right? The exact same reason that we saw in Bitcoin as to why you always take profit on a 372. Why you always take profit, because all price has to do is give you that new high or that new low to then turn price back around, right? And Austin, another example of a shoulder head shoulder just on an uptrend. Shoulder head shoulder, looking for a break, right? We got the break, we got a little retest. Once you got the retest, went back to the top side. So then for this, we had 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, what must the market do? Move sideways or go down. And what did the market do today? Move sideways. Again, it's rinse and repeat, guys. Rinse and repeat. It's the same shit every single day. There's nothing new. We're looking for a change of character. We're waiting for a break. Did we get a valid break of these lows? No. Just a testing candles. All of them were just testing candles. So right now for oil, not looking for any trades. At this point, I'm going to be marking up these highs. If price breaks these highs and goes higher than here and gives us a valid break of these highs, then we already know that our trade is invalidated to continue the push to the bottom side. Lower low, lower high, low. If price gives us a push, then that's it. I'm no longer going to be looking for price to go down, and we know we'll be expecting price to just give us a pullback. For NQ, daily time frame. Right, then I'll go over the MNQ, that's gold, right? No, MGC is gold. Oh, mini NQ, that's just what it is. Mini NQ is the same thing as NQ, right? Yeah, I think it is. Sorry, I'm not savvy with futures. Um, True, I haven't that already on the rules, just didn't clock the high was already made. Got you. Yeah, always gotta make sure that you take account for those highs. Once those highs are made, that's it. So the last pair, unless anybody else has any other questions, any other pairs you want me to look at before we finish, let me know. If not, that'll be it for tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. So NQ, again, very similar to US 30. The only difference is that US 30 is stuck at these highs over here, right? But on NAS 100 or NQ, we see that price broke these highs. But regardless, it's the same thing, right? Once we had the break, we're sitting at a higher high now, right? Just keeping an eye on the daily time frame, looking at the candles that are printing, right? Right now we still have exhaustion candles at the highs. Right now there's still kind of strong. Whoa, the price opened with a gap here. Never mind, not strong. Not strong. Let's go look at the 30-minute time frame. Go to the 4-hour real quick. Go from the top to the bottom. On the 4-hour time frame, again, we know that we're just stuck in this little zone of consolidation, which the zone of consolidation is more on the 30-minute than on the 4-hour. So we'll go to the 30-minute first real quick. I don't know why my NQ chart has these like blue boxes, man. What is that? Like, why is that on my chart? It's not that big of a deal, but is that this? No, it's not. What is that on my chart? Bid and ask. I don't know what that is on my chart. I don't know what. I don't know. Oh, okay, there you go. Electronic trading hour background. The hell does that mean? Anyway, when we go to the 30-minute time frame, what do we see? Right, price is still uptrending, obviously. Right, so I'm gonna just update this how I would update every other chart as well, so it could be a little bit more clear. Right, so we have higher high, higher low. Price came up, gave us higher high, higher low. Price came up, gave us higher high. Right? At this point, we already saw, oh, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. Price rejected lows, rejected highs, started going back down. Right? Price then gave us, again, higher high, higher low, higher high, then gave us a change of character down to the bottom side. And again, very similar to the other pairs, we also could see this as an extended shoulder, head, shoulder. Price gave us an invalid shoulder, head, shoulder because it never broke the lows. It just gave us a testing candle. So we know that we're trading now between these lows and these highs. Right? In order for us to sit here and say, okay, the trend has shifted, we're going to continue the trend to the bottom side, we wanted to see a valid break of structure after the change of character. We never got that, but that's okay. Where are we right now? At the top of the zone of consolidation. Now, if price gives us a break of these highs, then gives us a retest, then we know we could continue to see those pushes to the top side. But if price gives us an inducement of the high, or a sweep of the high, or exhaustion candles at the highs, we know that price is going to start making lower lows and lower highs, and this is where we'll start looking to take our trade to go right back down to the bottom of the zone of consolidation. So again, very similar to what's going on with US 30. Now US 30 gave us a little bit extra confirmation with the engulfing candle, but again, price already gave us a sweep of the 4-hour high. It gave us exhaustion candles at the 4-hour and the daily high. And on the 30-minute, right now we're still on an uptrend. That's the only thing that doesn't look good to be taking these positions going short. It's just the fact that price already gave us a change of character and it gave us the break of structure. So let's say you decide to take a trade going short here. Where are we expecting price to give us a pullback to? Well, we're in level 3, we're in peak high territory, we're expecting price to bounce off the 50 EMA. Not only that, when we're looking at structure, what type of structure is this? Doesn't this look like a flag post pattern, a bullish flag post pattern? So when you start adding your fib to this, now you will get to see, not only do we have the confluence of the 50%, but we will have the confluence of a retracement between 23.6 and 38.2, right? So if we get a pullback and the pullback is between 23.6 or 38.2 and is bouncing off the 50 EMA, understand that price could definitely just give us a retracement to continue that push to the top side. So this is why, even though we have this engulfing candle, even though we have the previous 3 days of rise and we're expecting price to either move sideways or go down today, right? The fact that we're still in an overall uptrend, we have the change and we have the break of structure, I would be very careful taking these trades on US 30, which again, very similar. I would say the same thing with NQ. Just be very careful taking these trades today. But that's pretty much it, man. Any other questions? Anything that didn't make sense that you want me to explain again, let me know. Any other pairs you want me to go over real quick before we finish, let me know. If not, that'll be it for today, for tonight's session. And we'll be back again tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m. Eastern time for the live trading session. As of right now, on my trade list, on my watch list, don't really have anything as of right now. There's a few pairs that look good that could develop into some entries for tomorrow, but as of right now, we'll go through this again one by one real quick. You know, again, I would love to see GJ start pushing to the top side so we could fill these gaps up. Would love to take a GJ trade. GJ pays, man. I love trading GJ. It's such a good pair to trade. When it's trending, GJ pays. But when that shit is moving how it's moving right now, I can't say nothing good about it. Yeah, as of right now, I don't really have anything on my watch list for tomorrow. It's just gonna be a day where we're gonna have to just wake up, look at the charts, and just see what we could look at. Yeah, I don't really have anything on my watch list for tomorrow. So, if all your setups appear in a chart outside of NY session, will you take it? Is there any session you avoid and why? So no, if it looks picture perfect and I'm on the chart, I'll take it. Because again, we're following the same rules. So like for example, there'll be times during the isolation sessions, you guys have seen it, where I'll be saying, yo guys, keep an eye on this chart because it looks ready to go. Right? So if I'm on the chart and something looks crystal clear, I'm gonna take it. But for the most part, again, I like to think of trading like any sport that has different quarters or different innings, right? If you're playing baseball, different innings. Basketball has 4 quarters, whatever the case is, right? Halftime, whatever sport it is. If you sit out, putting the sport analogy out there, if you're playing soccer or football for you guys outside of the US, it's a 90-minute game. If you sit out the first 30 minutes and you sit out the second 30 minutes, right, 60 minutes in total, you have 30 minutes left, and you start playing in the last 30 minutes of the game, are you going to have more energy or are you going to have less energy than everybody else on the field? Right? You're going to have more energy. It's the same way in trading. Right? When you're trading, sometimes Asia session, price is going to open and there's really nothing to really take. Like if we look at US oil, what are we going to take here? Nothing. Price is literally just moving sideways. There's nothing to take here. So that's already letting me know, okay, oil's not ready to be traded during Asia session. We have to come back at a later time. However, is there times where Asia session looks picture perfect? Absolutely. So to kind of just answer the question again, like if my setup appears during Asia session or during London session, I'm taking the trade. But again, the trading criteria, the entry criteria has to make sense. Everything needs to look picture perfect. The same way that we took every other trade during NYC session is the same trades that I'm looking at to take during Asia or during London session. Now, The only time I avoid taking trades is at the end of the NYC session, which is again what happened here during US oil. And the reason I do not take trades from one and hold trades from one day to the next is two reasons. Reason number one is the swap fees and the commission fees that you get for holding a trade from one day to the next. It's very expensive. The second reason is the volume when the markets open. As soon as the market opens, again, just take a look at what happened with oil. As soon as the market opened, it just plummeted down. Right? Now, in hindsight, that's perfect for us. But what if this would have happened going long? What if price wanted to push to the top side, gave us a sweep of the highs, to then continue back down to the bottom? Right? That means that we would have hit our stop loss because we were early on that trade, and we would have taken that loss. So those are two reasons why I don't take trades at the end of the trading day. Is because again, when the market opens, you don't know the volume that's going to come in. Sometimes there's no volume, right? Like how we're seeing right now and how we've seen for the most part 90% of the time there's really no volume when you trade Asia session. Volume doesn't come into the chart until the end of Asia going into London session around 2 a.m. 3 a.m. every single time. You see it here happen every single day. Consolidation until 2 a.m. Consolidation until 12 a.m. Consolidation until 2 a.m. Price didn't really do nothing here until NYC session. Consolidation until 3 a.m. Right? Again, we could just go back and back and back and we'll see the same thing, right? This just consolidated all day. This consolidated until 2 in the morning, but you got faked out, right? This was a push down. This was a sweep of the highs to then continue, right? And this is just a type 1 pattern. Consolidation, break out of the top of consolidation, gave us a double top to then continue the push to the bottom, right? Consolidation until 5 a.m. Now, also, it depends the pair that you're trading. If you're trading a US pair during Asia session, you know you're not going to get a lot of volume. But if you're trading pairs like AUD or GBP or Euro, you have a better chance at getting more volume when the markets open during Asia session. But to keep the answer simple, if my setup is present when I'm on the chart, it doesn't matter what session it is. If my confirmations are there, I'm going to take the trade. If my confirmations aren't there, then no, I'm not going to take the trade. Any other questions, guys? Mr. Bashir, let me know if that made any sense. Nice session. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. If no other questions in the chat, then again, we'll be done for the night. We'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll give you guys another minute. Any questions in the chat? 1 minute. If no questions, we'll be done. Good night. See you tomorrow. Good night, my brother. See you tomorrow morning. Alright, guys. Have a good rest of your night. We'll see you guys all tomorrow morning. And then again, tomorrow's Thursday, so we'll be doing... Yo, you know what's crazy? I'm bugging. Today's Wednesday. I should have been doing these sessions on WAP. That's completely my bad. We'll start that next week, I guess, again. Yo, I'm bugging. I should have definitely... Fuck, yo, I fucked up today, huh? Yo, I'm crazy. It's Wednesday, bro. I should have been doing these sessions on WAP today. That's my bad, bro. We'll be back. I guess we'll stay on YouTube this entire week. Again, usually we'll have our sessions on Wednesdays. We'll have them on WAP. Thursday morning we'll have them on WAP, and then we'll be back on Thursday evening here on YouTube. But since we already did these sessions all week here on YouTube, We'll continue to be on YouTube until Friday. Again, tomorrow's Thursday. We'll have our trading session in the morning. We'll have start next month. Yeah, I'll start it next month. I'll start again in August, the beginning of the month. So tomorrow's session in the morning will be here. Tomorrow evening session will be here, and then Friday session in the morning will be here. And then again, we'll be done with the sessions Friday morning until Sunday. Sunday we'll be back. We'll do the weekly market breakdown and get our charts ready for the next trading day and the next trading week. I'll be on WAP 2 by then. Perfect. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we had a. Also, it doesn't even matter because at this point, everybody who was on WAP. I mean, I don't want to air out nobody's business, but nobody's on WAP anymore, man. But again, I understand. I'm not shading nobody. Everybody's. It's that time of the year, man. It's already half of the year. It gets a little tricky, so I get it, man. I completely understand it. Again, the reason why I wanted to do these for free anyway was because I understand that a lot of people who get into trading do not have the capital. And again, we've been doing it for free for 3 years. So, we'll continue to do it, man. I have no pressure. Again, I don't care about none of that. You guys already know the story, so. Alright, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m. Peace out.